not being in society.
I don't really know where to start with this, guys. My favourite time of year has come around once again. Hello and welcome back to FastFoodNet and welcome to my Thorpe Park Fright Nights 2024 vlog. Yes, we are here. It is my third year coming to this event, and best of all, this year I'm going to be staying for the full thing until 9 o'clock tonight when the park closes. In previous years, I've left at 6 p.m. to make the 4-hour drive back to Lancashire, where I live. However, this year we booked an extra night in the hotel, hashtag Hotel Trivago. Other hotel booking brands are available, if you know, you know. But yeah, I'm so excited because it's going to be my first chance to do night rides at this park. Yeah, in terms of Fright Nights, we've got brand new Nemesis 2024 called Deadbeat. I've heard very mixed reviews about it. It doesn't seem too scary from what I've seen, so it'll be interesting to do that. It's going to be great to get back in trailers. I'm excited to see the changes that have been made to it for this year. It's had a bit of a glow up apparently with some new scenes, so really excited for that. It's been getting great reviews. Getting back in my least favourite scare maze ever, Stitches. That was abysmal last year, so hopefully they've taken my feedback on board and improved that for this year. It wasn't scary at all, that. Of course, going to be getting back in survival games as well. Obviously, we've got Creech Campus coming back as well, my favourite thing at last year's event. And it's going to be the third year I've seen that. It was obviously still Amity and Lycan in 2022. And Creech Campus has had a couple of changes for this year, which, if you watch my accessibility video, you'll know about. Lucifer's Lair as well, didn't do that last year, and getting back in the Crows and Milking Meadow as well. Obviously, with it being Fright Nights, the majority of filming is going to be done after 3 o'clock. It's just past 11 o'clock now, but I haven't covered the rides here since my last Fright Nights vlog, so I do want to talk a little bit about and give my updated review. So I obviously came in summer and did a review of Hyperia, but it would be good to talk about everything else. Colossus was okay. I've slagged it off a lot in the past. I still think it's a pretty boring ride. Like, I don't know what it is. It has 10 inversions, but I just don't think it has much force. It's weird. But the other issue is it's rough as well, but it weren't too bad today actually. We've done The Walking Dead as well, which there was a random dark corridor in there where the lights were off for some reason, so that confused a lot of people going from the pre-show to the coaster. And apart from that, it was okay. It's nothing spectacular. Anyway, I've waffled on for long enough now. Without further ado, we'll catch up with you when we go to our first ride, or maybe show you some Fright Nights preparations. I've just been on that ride behind me, Nemesis Inferno, and it's still the better Nemesis.
And it's got
Don't get me wrong.
as well.
The one at Towers, you know, it's a closer gap now because Reborn does feel more intense than the OG was. But Inferno just has no dead spots, whereas
Nemesis has 3.
Nemesis has several. You know, I think Inferno's not quite as smooth as Reborn is now. However, you know, it's still not that rough really, and considering its age, it's 21. And yeah, we got a front row as well, which like is the best row on any invert. That loop on front is really intense. Yeah, we are going to go to KFC now, which means it's time for FastFoodNet. Hello and welcome back to FastFoodNet, where we do everything fast food related by the internet. And today, as I said just, we did eat at KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken in Thorpe Park, the big restaurant that looks like a shark if you come in here, if you want to find it. And yeah, I had a lovely chicken breast fillet burger. Unfortunately, well, there's some good news and some bad news. Danielle clicked the wrong option, or she didn't make it large or whatever because it defaults to regular. Like, you're a business, like you think you want to charge people the most money, especially Merlin, and just default it to large, but no, that's not how it works here. So yeah, it saved me a little bit of money. It cost £8.79, but yeah, I wanted a large one to proper fill me up. You know, large chicken breast is what you want in it. I also had a tango drink and the chips. They're still the same chips if you watched last year's vlog that Danielle's not a fan of. And overall, I'd probably rate it a 9 out of 10. It was actually really good in my opinion. Anyway, next one to Danielle, what did you have?
I had a chicken fillet burger. with the chips, which to be fair, compared to last year when I was complaining about the chips being too spicy, they weren't actually that bad today.
Yeah, I do think they were a bit plainer, really.
So it was better, so 9 out of 10.
Next one to Josh, what did you have?
Same chicken breast meal with the chips and Diet Pepsi, it was good. It wasn't as quick as they normally are in there, you know, they're normally like really quickly, like, yeah, but the food's great. It's one of the best KFCs like there is, even though it's in a theme park. I'll give it a 10 because it's good in it.
Way! Going on Josh's favourite row on the Swarm, so hopefully this is good. Finally, back left seat. So, as you will have heard there in the station, we just did a back left seat on the Swarm. I sat obviously on the wing seat to get the full experience. Obviously I was next to Danielle, who's done it before, so. And yeah, for once, I've not come off that ride, or it's just not given me a sour taste when I've been here. Because the first ever time I came to Thorpe Park, I got spited by it. The second time I came to Thorpe Park Fright Nights 2022 was actually alright, to be fair. Third time I came, Fright Nights 2023, waited 50 minutes in the wrap queue. And the fourth time I ever visited Thorpe Park, back in summer, we waited 50 minutes in the wrap queue again. But this time we waited 5 minutes in the wrap queue, and fair play to the staff on there. So starting off with the host checking the ride access pass things and, you know, signing the time cards. You know, she was actually moving the queue, like, I don't know what it is with that ride, but normally the host just ignore that queue, like it moves at really slow pace, but she was moving it properly, how it should be moved. And also she was checking the wrap IDs as well, the blue cards, which not all hosts do. Like, everyone should be doing that. I noticed here especially, people haven't been doing that, and that needs to be done to check that someone isn't abusing the system, they're not gone and stolen a time card or something like that. So that was brilliant. And then onto the ride itself, those are the best operations I've ever seen on that ride. Normally, the operations in that thing are absolutely abysmal, but today, we're probably dispatching every minute, I'd say. Like, as soon as the train was hitting the brake run, the train in the station was dispatching. They weren't stacking at all, and that's how it should be. And as for the ride itself, that was brilliant, really intense. I'd say the best ride I've ever had on it. I'm debating now whether it's overtaken Inferno, because yeah, as Josh has said to me plenty of times, back left is a really good seat. I can see why he enjoys it so much now. It was ridiculously intense. Seems like Thorpe have caught onto the idea of FastFoodNet, which is brilliant to see. What did I give it? An 8 out of 10? Better than expected, you know. What have we got here? Food
quality. Very good.
Oh god.
Food service.
Excellent.
Food value for money.
Actually, service I put good because like it did actually take a while. Food value for money.
That's negative.
Excellent. I know.
Look at him giving all these good reviews on the
that's
tablets. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it for FastFoodNet today.
If you'd like to participate in FastFoodNet at Thorpe Park, all you need to do is head down to the Hyperia shop. It's completely free, as it is to subscribe to ThrillNet for more fast food reviews. That way, you'll never taste a disgusting theme park meal again. There we go then, we've just been on Hyperia, and I still can't get over how incredible that ride is. We are so lucky to have it in the UK. It's the first ride we've got in the UK that's just of that level in terms of the forces it pulls and the air time. We got a row 8 on it as well, which is reasonable because it's towards the back of the train. That's my third ever ride on it. I've had a row 6 on it and a row 10 on it. I think, yeah, there's 10 rows. So yeah, row 8 is a good row to be getting on. And yeah, as for the wrap queue, it was quite far backed up. However, again, the staff on there were moving at a great pace. So again, shout out to the hosts on Hyperia. Great to see. We got timed out for longer than it is until Fright Night starts, and obviously, you know, it's a tradition which we missed last year because of the Swarm, to go and watch the Creature Campers or Amity and Lycanthrope shows that used to be known at that time. So we're going to get to do that. So I guess we timed it well in a way, Hyperia, in the sense that we've done it such that our timeout, you know, we can't do another ride anyway, so there's no chance of us now missing the show. And it's not like that the scarcity mindset of that we're going to miss out on doing another ride that we could have done before then, in the fear that we would miss the show. And then as for the operations on the ride itself, they were really good, you know. They were doing this on Inferno as well, saying this train is going to leave in X amount of time, you need to board as quickly as possible. And honestly, Hyperia's operations are mental. It's a real shame that that ride doesn't have 3 trains, because they're operating it fast enough where it could have if it was a little bit longer and they had the block sections to support it. They've closed Amity Speedway up until now today. Obviously Amity Cove's open, so you can still go on Tidal Wave, Storm Surge and walk through to like the Dockyard and Big Easy Boulevard areas, but you can't go to the Stealth Plaza, which is going to have to change at 3 o'clock because they do the Creature Campus show there, and that is because Stealth has been closed all day. We believe it's not due to technical reasons because it says open later, and normally when a ride is closed for technical reasons, like it just says closed and there's nothing else stated. Earlier this week they only opened Inferno at 3 o'clock. Whether it's like cost-cutting measures like they're doing this, I don't know, because like, it just seems to keep opening rides late with no explanation. And you know, I wasn't very happy with Thorpe Park. I tweeted them like, it's not very good this, you know, in Fright Nights, because it's not. Like, you know, it's the busiest time of the year, stuff needs to be opening on time, which hasn't been the case today. Did not put an opening time on there or anything, it just says opening later. But yeah, just on our way up to Creature Campus. It's about 20 to 3 now, so I'll keep this short and sweet. I'm excited. Amity Beach is in a bit of a bad state at the moment. For those who don't know, Amity Beach is just a little seasonal attraction, you know, just behind sort of Amity. And yeah, it opens in the summer, and it used to have like a little water park attraction on back in the day called Wet Wet Wet, which I believe was a set of water slides. And yeah, there's a lot of rumours due to a poster I don't know if it's the Deadbeat Q or pre-show that says like the final beach party, that Amity Beach could be leaving the park in 2025. Whoa. And within the state it's in, I mean, it doesn't look like it's operated for a while. No, and it doesn't look like they're looking after it. No. I reckon those rumours could well be true, so stay tuned, as if we do get some news about that, I probably will do a video. Here we are making our way into Amity Speedway for the first time today. So excited. Right guys, we're in position for Creature Campus, and this year we've got a facade instead of the steps last year, which I weren't a fan of, so big improvement. But we've still got these barriers here, which I did like because it makes it a lot clearer where to stand when you're watching the show. But also this year, oh dear, witches. This year they have brought back the actual roaming scare zone aspect of here, so the actors will be roaming at certain times. However, it's not going to be like it was a couple of years ago, and it was like all the time for hours on end. So I think that's better in a way, because it means the actors have more energy for like the set times that they're going to be roaming. Like, you get the best of both. You get the roaming scare zone aspect and the show. So last time, instead of that, they would do like an extra mini show, which hasn't come back. That was called Creature Classroom. But unfortunately guys, there's no Amity and Lycan this year. We've got witches and we've got some gorgons, because the witches killed Amity and Lycan, which isn't good at all. And I will be having a word if they come over to speak to us. And they're all hanging out there. Team Gorgons, yes. And look at them all hanging out over there. Like, not good. 5 minutes to go. We just had an announcement, and the area audio is now on. Thank goodness for that. Yeah. So that is brilliant to see. As for Stealth up there, it's been making some questionable noises. If I get spited by that today, that's 2 out of 6 big coasters at this park that I've been spited by. That'd be really annoying. At least I've done Stealth this year already though, back when I came in August, but I wanted a night ride on it today. I really want a night ride, so it'd be a shame if I missed that. Show is starting. I'll probably record the whole thing later because we'll be watching it several times, but here we go. My lights.
Betrayal from one of our trusted that's darkened our coven's bliss. We charge our power from the moon to silence the serpent's hiss. You broke our trust with your false disguise,
of you to take one of our own. Before you play dirty, you should know when we aim our venom, we never miss. Let's turn up the chaos and open your eyes to the rising of this raving rebellion.
And if you know me, you'll know I absolutely love this show. A special place in my heart. I got emotional in 2022, like the first time I saw it. I was doing it last year. Now, unfortunately, it's had quite a significant downgrade in my opinion this year. I'm not being biased to the fact that Amity likened the hills, but the setup's not as big. Quite a lot of smaller area. Obviously the facade's good appraise that and sort of the scenery around, but the choreography, you know, it was still impressive. They were sliding down poles and stuff, but it didn't feel like they were running as round much like jumping on the Amity Speedway tyres. And then the soundtrack, now, that was done by Archie. I am Archie Music on Instagram and stuff. Archie Music Production, I think is his official name. One of the nicest enthusiasts I've ever spoken to. Really good guy. Now, his mixing, don't get me wrong, is absolutely incredible. And I did actually end up messaging him a bit on Instagram because like, I reposted something he posted and he just thanked me and stuff. And he did warn me that, you know, because I praised his soundtrack, that this would sound a bit different. It was very different. The songs are a lot more modern, which I guess is good considering it's, you know, quite a young target audience. I just wasn't as big a fan of some of the song choices. A bit shabby, some of them, unfortunately. A bit like Cardi B and stuff. Like, please, Archie, never use a Cardi B song in the show again. Like, not a fan, unfortunately. There was a Travis Scott one, again, not a massive fan, but from hearing that in the area, it did sound okay. Don't get me wrong though, there was still some good choices. Like, I like the fact to use Gangster's Paradise. I think that's a very good choice. I think there was a Nicki Minaj one from a previous year. I'm not the biggest fan of Nicki Minaj, but like, I don't know if it might have been, I can't quite remember. I think there was some insomnia at the start. I think that's a brilliant choice. Plenty of Rihanna in there, which fits perfectly with this show. There's been a lot of Rihanna songs used throughout the year, but some of the more hip-hop songs, there was a lot more hip-hop songs rather than pop songs. I wasn't a big fan of that, but that's no disregard to Archie's talent, because he's an incredibly talented guy, and we'll talk a bit more about the soundtracks he's done around the park as we go later on. What I did like though is the witches were swinging the brooms across the floor and creating sparks. That's actually inspired by Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which is an event at the Magic Kingdom Park at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Really good effect. That I enjoyed that a lot. But yeah, the rivalry didn't seem quite as intense, although the witches did get turned to stone at the end, which like served them right for killing Amity and Lycan. Yeah, overall, like, I still enjoyed it. I just didn't think it had quite the magic of previous years. I know that, like, from Instagram and stuff, that there's very passionate people behind the show. So I just want to say, you know, thank you for bringing it back for another year, even though you took away Amity and Lycan from us, and we'll definitely be watching it a couple more times today. Okay, so we've now done our first scare maze. We started off with trailers, and before I talk about the scare mazes quickly, we've had a miracle happen once again in terms of maze tickets. They hadn't sold out, but a lovely group heard us like debating at the start of the day. We were obviously trying to book the mazes before they sold out, whatever, and they gave us their Fearsome 4 package because they did Deadbeat yesterday and they weren't a fan of it. So the only maze we've had to do is pay for is Deadbeat, and then the other 3 mazes we will do for free. So that's so kind of you. If you are watching, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed your stay, because obviously that's part of the Shark Cabins package. You get that, you get a Fearsome 4 package as part of that. So yeah, but as for the run-through trailers itself, that was really good actually. The pre-show actor, brilliant. They've actually brought back the director, who's a past Fright Nights character from before I started coming here, but he was a beloved character. They've actually brought him back for the pre-show. There's some good scares in there, and you don't normally get scares in the pre-show, like there's banging on the table and stuff and emphasising certain words. I'm sure you get what I mean.
Like the fact how like it goes dark and then he pulls the lever down.
There was like an air cannon or something in there that went off.
No, it was like a lever that he pulled down.
And just the whole thing, it's been amped up in terms of intensity for definite. So we went to the dentist room. That's the same. We're at the front of the group. There was an actress in there. She did a brilliant jump scare. That room's always been brilliant. We then went to the big top, and then there's a new room to replace what was previously the hell cell, like a hell-themed prison. There's now a Creek Massacre room. Now, that was quite poor in my opinion. There should have been 2 actors in there and there's only 1, and the actor that was in there wasn't really getting close enough. It's a shame, because I used to love Creek Massacre.
It was
I didn't run the run.
Following me in bed a bit, but
yeah. After that we went through 7 Dolls, same old, and then to replace the Vulcan voodoo scene that was themed to Vulcan Pete, they now have a Knock Knock scene themed to Death's Doors, which was a previous scare zone which hasn't returned for this year.
did that happen at
And I think so, there was some banging or something. I think there was a good scare in that room from what I remember. And then they've also replaced the Nightmare on Stain Street room with a Platform 15 room. There's been a little bit of rerouting in there. It's a similar route, but a lot of the corridors felt a lot tighter in there than normal. It used to have a lot of open rooms trailers, so that helped the scares. So Platform 15, again, a previous maze on the site of Hyperia. Really good scares. And then after that, no real changes, but again, all the actors were on point, doing a brilliant job, getting up close. The only thing I didn't like about that run through, which couldn't be helped, is we got put at the front of the group, which was lucky, but the kids behind us was quite scared and they pushed us through, which meant it was a very short run through and I didn't have time to quite appreciate all the sets fully. And the
that's
actors.
Why we didn't get the pre-tweet scene as much, because the kids were like...
Yeah, it would have been better really, I think, if they can't anticipate this when we're batching it, but it would have been better if we were at the back, then we could let them just run off in front, and then we could experience the mazes for free.
We walked off with the...
Yeah, Danielle was trying to drag me through the end bit so we could get the finale on our own, which was a success.
Well, in a way, they kind of like pushed us into a wall trying to get in front, so we just had to.
Yeah,
kind of
but
pull
we
back.
managed to keep them behind, which was good. Oh dear, oh dear. You'd think we'd just come out of Stitches. No, we just come out of Deadbeat. Oh dear, dear. We've just come out of Stitches. That was a terrible scare maze. I'm sorry. The best thing about that was the soundtrack in the queue line, which had some banging songs. It was playing some Dead Mouse and stuff like that. And there was also the soundtrack in the maze itself is a brilliant soundtrack. They don't need to change a thing about that. I do wish they'd use the soundtrack from the trailer that the Jack put out in there. Because I thought that was a good as well and would have been a good addition. But yeah, where do we start? We've got put in a group of like 17. Like I'm saying 17. We did end up at the front. And we were waiting ages outside, like fair play to the... Well, it was actually an actor, but he was also a host. Like, I think it was an actor. It's hard to tell because he was doing like a uniform of some sort. A bouncer, because obviously it's a nightclub theme. And he kept the group entertained. If you're going to wait that long to send the group through, like, I think they were doing the passage tactic where they wait until the group before's gone through so you don't catch up. Like, I'd rather you sent a smaller group through, like split it half and half and sent it every 2 minutes or so. Because to be honest, I don't think you'd catch up to the group in front because there's no like actor-led scenes after the pre-show. Where do we start? The pre-show itself was dreadful. It was in this tent, like really temporary, and there was this guy, like, I don't know, like, he wasn't loud enough because you had the music outside that was bleeding in, and you could hear the host outside giving the safety briefing for the next group. But we go on through there, and it's a single soundtrack throughout. The story is essentially that you are in a nightclub that's infested with zombies, and then there's all this weird vomit stuff. It made no sense. The story needs to be explained better. Like, a problem with a lot of Thorpe's mazes is they have the same formula where you have a pre-show and then no actor-led scenes after that, whereas mazes like Passage at Blackpool, they have a couple of actor-led scenes throughout, which one helps expand the narrative of the attraction, and two, like, it breaks up the scares a bit. You know, it gives you a bit of a breather, but then it allows them to do a bit of a distraction scare where they can then throw you back into the scares where you least expect it, because obviously you've got this actor making some jokes and stuff, and then the next minute you're flung into some scares. I think Deadbeat would benefit from that, an actor-led scene halfway through, just to elaborate on the story, because it's like you go in this club and then you go out the club and then you're back in the club and you're seeing some of the scenes you've been through again. However, the main issue with that maze was the actors, because they were not scaring very well at all. They were doing scares, but you couldn't hear them because the music was so loud, which isn't a criticism, by the way, to the music, because it's a good soundtrack, but they should have been going absolutely mental in there like they used to in Freak Freak and stuff.
Like,
but
shouting like they are in a
yeah,
club.
they should have had megaphones or something if like it was but they weren't. They were doing, and the scares were just terrible. Like, they were jumping out going rah and then running off, a lot of them. The best scares in there were the air cannons, like, and there weren't enough actors in there. It was only about 7 or 8. Could do with 3, maybe 4, 5 more, I'd say. And yeah, it was just terrible.
It wasn't that bad.
It was. It wasn't as bad as Stitches last year, but it was quite bad. The best scare was when we like reached this curtain and it was like an actor camouflage sort of thing. That was a brilliant scare, but like the rest of it, they were doing acrobatics and stuff. Like, that's not how you scare in a scare maze. Like, Jesus, like.
It was
It was very poor. It was poor acting. No, it was very poor acting. It's not the point. I don't like visual mazes. Like, I know I'm stating the obvious there, and that was a very visual maze. Like, the strobe scene was good, but again, it wasn't scary. I think they should either improve it drastically next year for the point to have, like, you need to have actors running around there going mental. Like, you have it in trailers, you had it to a better extent in Creek 3. We lost like mazes such as Living Nightmare for that, which looked incredible. And I mean, it was better than Black Mirror Labyrinth, don't get me wrong. Stitches is an absolute disgrace to the scare industry. What the heck was that run through? The fact that that's won British awards and stuff, it is a terrible attraction. Genuinely, that's like, last year's run through was bad. That one wasn't quite as bad, but it was still bad. I can't decide whether that or Deadbeat's worse. I'll get onto why in a minute. I think overall, that was probably the worst of the two attractions. However, I think it had a couple of jump scares that were better than what I got in Deadbeat, and a couple of actual interactions that were better. Went into the pre-show with a group of about 200 people. I don't know how many there were. And don't get me wrong, that's a very good pre-show. I think both years I've done it, the actor in there has been brilliant. It sets the story absolutely perfectly, that pre-show. It's brilliant. It reminds me of Passage del Terror's pre-show a little bit, actually, where there's a jump scare in the actual pre-show. You probably get what I mean with, like, it's not as good as Passage's, like, pre-show, but it's okay. You then go through and just like, there's a new sort of crawl section in there, not quite crawl, but you have to bend over for it, and you're going through some teddies. I'm very disappointed by that, really. Like, don't get me wrong, it's fine for us, but for wheelchair accessibility and stuff like that, it's not good at all. I claimed in my review that Stitches is accessible. I'm gonna have to take that back. You know, the video I did about, you know, the accessibility of Fright Nights, which I probably should have left until after the vlog, really, but I knew we were coming here so late in the year that I just thought, like, what's the point? No one's gonna watch that. Fright Nights will be over. So what happened was, we went in the pre-show and, like, the group just went out in the complete wrong order, and we ended up at the back. And then these people in front were walking at like half a mile an hour. You know, our initial thing, our tactic we were going to use, which normally works in mazes, but clearly not this one because of how sort of compact and claustrophobic it, you know, is you get at the back, people in front get scared, you then let them separate themselves out for you, and you just take it slow. We did that, but the people in front who pushed in, absolute idiots, were walking at 0.5 miles an hour as well. So that just didn't work. I got one good jump scare at the start, and then we encountered this Barbara doll who we didn't see last year. She wasn't scary in the slightest, and I've seen from POVs like that others have done that she's meant to be way more aggressive than that. You know, she's meant to be like,
Hi, I'm Barbara. Hi.
And she's kind of like, hi, I'm Barbara. And, you know, she asked me and Danielle for our names and stuff. And, you know, fair play to her. I know I've kind of I said she weren't aggressive enough, but I thought she was a good actor in reality, because it did feel like she was trying to like separate us out a bit, because she was trying to talk to us and stuff. So I think she could probably see the issue that was going on as well. She asked me and Danielle for our names and said she knows someone called Ben. Like, have you seen the channel? Comment down below if you have. But then after that, there was one or two other jump scares. There was more actors than when me and Danielle did it last year. Still not quite enough, I would say, but the fact we were at the back, we just got none of the scares. I thought a lot of the actors were way too quiet. It felt like that they weren't possibly putting the 100% in that they should have been in there, really. I don't like to criticise actors because, generally speaking, they put 110% in at all times, but I think, apart from those couple I just mentioned, Barbara and the other one, they were a bit off the actors, really. And then the finale of that maze is awful. It's just a strobe maze with nothing in it. What's the point?
There was one actor in it that was like,
That did absolutely nothing.
Well, I think they were trying to do a Crow's imitation, but it didn't really work.
Well, it should have worked. I'm so annoyed about that. Like, I'd be tempted, like, because we didn't pay for it, I'd be tempted to chance it again, but then you could just have the same run through again. So it's like, I don't want to buy a lottery ticket for a scare maze, because that's what you're doing. These mazes are so inconsistent. Yeah, it's just a terrible it's not built for the crowds to send in through it. They need to knock that down now and just try something else. Like, the fact that we used to have, like, the likes of Creek Freak Massacre, we lost that. We lost Creek Freak Massacre for that. It's just, I'm really annoyed. There's just been an announcement. How's it open?
We're trying.
Stealth.
They're testing it now.
They're testing stealth.
The first test training of the day.
It looks like they're trying to open stealth, guys. It's been closed all day. Yeah, we just heard an announcement that the staff need to clear the ride area. There you go.
Attention, please. The ride is about to start. Please clear the ride area. Once again, the ride is about to start. Please clear the ride area.
Wayne, stop's about to launch.
Once again, the ride is about to start. Please hold on
There we go, first test of the day. Right guys, going in survival games, which is what...
We can get a photo together if you want.
Shall we get a photo?
Yeah!
Let's turn up the chaos and open your eyes to the rising of this raving rebellion.
Automobile gangster with a bad dad that came from Sri Lanka. Yeah, I'm in that hunter, color I really wonder. You could be the king, but watch the queen conquer. First things first, I'll eat your brains. Then I'ma start rocking, roll, keep the veins. Cause that's what I'm
And now you're going to die.
Hey guys, if you would like to fill out this thing,
Well, that was incredible, what can I say? Treach campus, looks can kill.
we are some being in society. We are your top priority. We got the moves and you got the do's and the don'ts, and that's on you.
That was really good.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
I wrote it.
Oh.
I choreographed.
High five, Ben. High five. Oh.
There we go.
You as well.
And thank you.
There we go.
I did. You did? Yeah. I'll claim it. I'll claim that. I'll claim the choreography.
That's good.
There you go.
You need to get that on the stage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Should we go up there and do it?
Pre-stage. Let's go.
We need our fan base.
Yes, yes. Let's go.
I was gonna say,
They're rapping. They're rapping. I don't think we'll be able to hear them unless they've got a mic. They just did it for us then.
Okay guys, so we've just encountered the best actors I've ever encountered at Fright Nights, some gorgons in Creech campus, because it operates as a scare zone from 2:45 till 2:15 every hour. And yeah, I didn't get any footage of them because it was kind of like, came over and yeah.
They want like scissors.
Came over and it would have been awkward to get a camera out halfway through the conversation, so I didn't really do it, but I do want to get them on the vlog because they're definitely worth it. So hopefully what we're going to do now is do a Hyperia night ride, then tea, then get ahead for 8:30. You know what, even if we don't make it for the start of the show, if we come at 2:45, we could hopefully possibly catch them before they run off. Also we did survival games, which I really enjoyed. Josh was like, thought it's mediocre, and Danielle hated it because she was out in like 2 minutes. We were probably in there for about 5 minutes. It weren't as good as the run through last year. Now last year we didn't get separated, however this year the actors did attempt to separate me and Josh, so we had to tell them not to because I'm visually impaired. So we ended up in a cage with another person, and I think even though there was a spare cage, they were insisting to put one person in this cage, like, which I don't get. It also kind of messed up the run through, I feel, in that like they didn't grab us, like, and I don't understand why. They just told us to like move back. They were grabbing other people but not us.
Yeah,
but the rest of the I had one of the best jump scares I've ever had in a maze. Like, there was an air cannon that went off.
Where?
It was on the opposite side to where you went, and an actor jumped out.
There should be an air cannon on
there was still grabbing. It wasn't as much grabbing as last year though. Chainsaw run out weren't great, as it was quite badly timed, whereas last year that was a lot better. Me and Josh had it to ourselves, whereas this time we didn't. But overall, definitely the second best maze here. It's my kind of maze. As someone who's visually impaired, I do prefer the more like in your face type mazes, I feel like.
Bring some species to Thorpe.
And that one is definitely that. There's not much theming in there, it's a lot of black walls, and the story's not very deep, but I just personally really like it. I don't think I'm going to put some Fright Nights next year, I'm just going to go to Jackson then.
2 hours later.
I don't really know where to start with this, guys. After the Creature Campus show, we did our ride on Hyperia, and we obviously wanted to go and see the one at 8:30, as I think I said before, but like, we're putting it fine. It was like 5 to 8, so we got Burger King. I had to kind of rush, and like, by the time like we'd obviously got it and eaten it, it was like I'd eaten sort of my burger and a few chips. It was 20 past, so Danielle held my drink. I got the chips and we went over to Creech Campus to see the show, only to run into a couple of Thorpe Park legends like Jack and Archie, who stood in front. Josh went up to them, said hello, you know, they turned round and like seemed to recognise me, which was really surprising because, like, you know, I don't make that much Thorpe content really. Like, I try where I can, but I don't live that near the park. Like, my channel is Pleasure Beach predominantly, but I obviously do cover all UK parks. If there's some major news about any UK park, I'll cover it. So that happened, and then after the show finished, we got a picture with him. You know, I shared my thoughts on the mazes with him because they were asking about that. Talked a bit about how I got into scare mazes, because Jack was a big part of that with his POVs and stuff. And he said that they said that they watched like my recent video where I counted down my top 5 scare mazes. Like, that was insane. Like, they've been watching FastFoodNet content. I know Archie I met a couple of years ago in the Icon station on opening day, and he commented on my video, but I didn't know that they watched as much as they did, because like that top 5 video is really recent. I mean, it obviously had stitches in the thumbnail, so thought it was in the thumbnail, but yeah, that was cool. And then we went to do pros last thing in the day, which we've not done, by the way, because they're adding us to again, and obviously I was a bit critical of Deadbeat. I didn't think it was that great before, but they asked us, you know, if we wanted to do a run through of Deadbeat with them, because they were doing it. So we basically got a run through with Jack and Archie, who got manhandled to death. We didn't get manhandled. I wouldn't have minded if we did, but they did touch us a bit, the actors, in the second run at least. Because yeah, we did end up having 2 runs actually, like, I know, insane. It was quite a bit better than the run we had before. I still think there could have been a couple more actors in there, but regardless, like, you know, it was a better run. So yeah, Stitches is definitely the weakest maze here now, in my opinion. I did enjoy that. It's definitely grown on me the last couple of runs I had, but I just want to say an absolutely massive thank you to Jack and Archie. You're absolutely lovely to speak to. It was so thoughtful of you to do that. I'm guessing because I was a bit disappointed with Deadbeat, whatever, and they wanted to do it, and they saw us going to pros. We may not have got pros in, and I wanted to do pros in the dark, but you know, I was never going to turn down such a kind opportunity. I like that is, you know, a major opportunity. That is so much better than what, you know, pros would have been worth. So yeah, massive thank you. You know, I can't really express how thankful I am. And if you do see this, obviously, yeah, thank you. I know I've said thank you a million times, and thank you for obviously watching as well. Like, it means the world. You know, it's nice that, I guess, you know, you getting to hear the thoughts of someone who doesn't visit this place that much and only does, you know, Fright Nights annually. I also just want to give a massive shout out to the maze hosts and all the actors in Deadbeat. They must have been thinking, what the hell, when we turned up with Jack and Archie. I mean, I had proper imposter syndrome. Like, you know, we're a group of Northerners, and, you know, I've been quite open in the past about how I've done videos on this channel where I've expressed certain opinions of what Thorpe Park have done, and I feel like I've been overly harsh. You know, I regret making those videos, but deep down I do love Thorpe Park. It's definitely my second favourite park in the country. I've come a long way since then. I feel I'm starting to learn now how to express things constructively in the right way, to get the right words out in expressing my opinions accurately. I know I was pretty harsh on Stitches and on my first run of Deadbeat, but I don't take those opinions back, and I do feel like they need to be heard. But at the end of the day, we were getting sent through those mazes in huge groups, and those are representative of what you'd normally expect as a member of the general public, a paying customer going through one of those mazes. Whereas when we went through Deadbeat with Jack and Archie, it was just a group of 5, and the quality of our run through then is the quality of run through that everyone should get when going through Deadbeat. So I'm just so grateful. I cannot express this enough to everyone involved, and especially the pre-show actress. She was brilliant. She did the safety briefing as well, and did it entirely in character, gave us a unique safety briefing, taking the situation we were in into account, saying it was a pretty exclusive event and whatnot. And she also had a megaphone as well, which the guy doing the pre-show the first time around didn't have, and I just feel like she portrayed that character a lot better. Definitely one of the best actors we encountered throughout the day, so shout out to you if you're watching. And then just the entire cast in the maze as well. They were tormenting Archie to death, obviously saying happy birthday to him because it was his birthday that day, and they were absolutely brilliant with us as well. Definitely some of the best actors I've experienced in a Thorpe maze. They were getting us to say happy birthday to Archie and stuff, and it was just such a laugh. Obviously the actors did make it special in a way for us, considering the situation, and you wouldn't expect that normally as a paying customer, but with regards to the intensity of the run through we got, that's what I'd expect for everyone going through there. I understand that Thorpe Park and Merlin are a business and that money's important, but I definitely feel like adding an extra scare maze for this year's event was a mistake. I feel like it affected the quality of the other mazes. In general, the run-throughs didn't seem as strong in the mazes as previous years. I understand that costs are going up, but I think what it'd be better to do is going back to having 3 mazes, but opening them for longer, because then that'll allow more people to do them and they'd make more money from the mazes they've got. Well, like, what is stopping you from opening the mazes at, say, 1 o'clock instead of 3 o'clock to give people a couple of extra hours to do everything Fright Nights related? You don't need to open the scare zones that early, they can open later on, but the mazes, why not open them a couple of hours earlier? A roaming team as well. We've not had a proper roaming team since 2022. The only thing we've had that's reminiscent of a roaming team in the past couple of years is the Crows roaming the park between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock, when obviously the Crows and Morecambe Meadow opens and they go there. But the park need to have a dedicated roaming team. They've had characters from a film called You're Next, I believe, in the past, when they did a Lionsgate partnership in 2013. They had the Buckwheats in 2022 roaming the park, which was really good. We did get 1 or 2 good interactions with them. But this year there was just nothing. There was no sign of any actors at all around the park outside of the scare mazes and scare zones. So it just felt like the atmosphere was lacking in places. I'd also like to clarify that regardless of what I may have been captured saying on park, next year, I do hope to attend both Fright Nights and Jack's event. Yes, there's room for improvement, but overall, I do love Fright Nights. I just happen to have a bit of a sour taste at that moment in time. You know, it's still been a decent event. Hyperia in the dark was really good. Got a row free. Would have been nice if you could have a front row, but you can't obviously choose. Hopefully they do add a front row queue next year. I feel like they should open an hour longer as well. Open till 10, I know they used to, and they've stopped it now. Like, it's really busy. Like, we could open an extra hour, you know. Stitches was a big disappointment, but apart from that, we've had a really good day, really. You know, that last hour with Jack and Archie, or, you know, half an hour really made it. To see my video regarding Fright Nights accessibility, make sure you click the video on the right side of your screen. And for more things theme park related in the UK mail, make sure you click the icon on the centre of your screen to subscribe. I'm Ben, you've been watching FastFoodNet, and goodbye.